Hello, I'm Brigantia, Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Tuesday. Time for another in our series of pagan problems. Today we're going to talk about reclaiming energy. Sometimes we just get to feeling run down. We have hectic schedules or we're overextended. It drains our batteries. We might have too many obligations and not enough time and resources to take care of them all. It takes a toll. Or maybe there's a lot of emotional upheaval in our lives. It can get to be too much, and then we find ourselves just wanting to sleep. And hopefully, by the time we wake up, all the craziness in our lives will have gone away. Not that it works like that, but you can always hope. Another cause for this tiredness can come actually from rapid spiritual growth. I mean, times like this, it's exciting and mind blowing, and sometimes we get that huge, big adrenaline surge. However, eventually that adrenaline fades, and all of the energy we've been expending catches up with us, and our energy levels drop and even fade into oblivion. And having this kind of exhaustion can affect every level of our beings. Of course, it can affect us physically, obviously, having that constant need for sleep, aches and pains, even difficulty recovering from illnesses and injuries because we just do not have the physical reserves that we need. And then mentally and emotionally, we have a lack of get up and go, a disinterest and unwillingness to engage, a lack of ambition. And even spiritually, we might be having trouble with meditation and prayer. We could be neglecting our studies or not actively practicing. It is just all of the result of being just tired. So what can we do about it? It's all very well to whine about what's causing the problem, but we need to figure out ways to fix things. Now, obviously, what follows is not intended to be this one-size-fits-all, absolute, you don't have to do anything else solution. These are just a few ideas you might consider, and as always, the hope is that this will jumpstart your own brainstorming process so that you will be able to come up with some ideas that will work for you in your life. So first suggestion is journaling. Obviously not for everyone, but for some people, it can be a great way to just get all of that static out of your head. All of those thoughts that are jumbling around, the ones that keep you awake at, 2, 3 in the morning when you really need to be well rested the next day. Sometimes putting it out on paper, just written, written word vomit, in other words, it can just help get it out of our systems. And even if we can't do anything about it at that moment, at least we're no longer thinking about it. And sometimes just the process of writing can lead to useful insights for us. And this can be very helpful if we're just not quite sure, we haven't isolated the cause of why we're feeling worn out, especially if we're just kind of having that general malaise, but we can't really find, okay, it's because of that, or it's because of something I did. Sometimes as we go through the writing process, like, oh, so that's what's going on with me. And once we understand that, we have a much better chance at sorting out our situation and then recovering our strength. Another idea is just to take better care of our health in general. Nothing extreme, nothing wacky, not change everything out in your pantry, completely take on a whole new way of life. I mean, let's face it, people who go for those dramatic changes, if you check up on them 5, 10 years down the line, are they still doing the same thing or have they fallen into other fads? I'm talking about just general self-care. Do a little bit more walking, a little less sitting, a little less sugar, a little more protein, smidge more meditation, and less wringing your hands and worrying. All of this adds up and it does more to help us than we think. Now, when we're already tired, probably the last thing we want to hear is how we need to do something different or we need to add something to our routine. But perhaps we could find a way to let something go, something that doesn't restore us, something that is optional for us to do, and then replace it with something that does. And as far as, taking care of our physical health, well, when it comes to the grocery store, maybe choosing the fruit and not the fruit snack. Maybe choosing something that is a little bit more wholesome for us and a little less bad for us. And then gradually over time, you grow into a healthier lifestyle. I think that's probably going to be more likely for us to affect lasting change. And also, one last thing for us to consider today before I let you go is just to focus less on your fears or fears of what might happen, especially fears of what might happen. And think more about what you love and what you enjoy and that which is within your power to address. Taking practical, reasonable steps to ease the reason and the cause for your anxieties. And then, once you've done what you can do, let it go. Worry is not going to help us meet future challenges, but fully enjoying the good things in our lives can strengthen us. And if we still have that worry that we just can't get rid of, and that's the thing that's really been wearing us out, well, then this will sound a little Christian-y, but there is a point where that you do go to prayer and you do turn that over to the gods and you say, there's this big thing and I don't know what to do with it. Here's the steps that I've taken. I'm reaching out to you. You know, even if you offer me nothing more than moral support, well, that's something. And I think it's good, especially in this agnostic and atheistic age, for us to remember that we do have that resource in the gods. And it's not that they're going to solve the problem for us or remove our responsibilities for us, but simply being heard and knowing that they care and that they might help us, give us little nudges to say, if you just adjust your strategy a smidge, you'll be so much better off. Or here's an idea that you hadn't occurred to you, and then you can try. We never know. We never know. But inviting them to, I'm inviting them essentially to interfere. That can be a helpful thing when there are things that are utterly beyond our control. And of course, all that goes to restoring our sense of energy so that we're able to, to live life and able to thrive. So those are my thoughts. If you have a few thoughts of your own, I'd love to hear about them at Blackbird's Brew. You can visit us. There is a link to join in the description box below. And of course, as always, please leave a comment here, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.